Hello, Riz. Thank you for agreeing to see us and coming
So,
to talk to us.
excellent.
If you wouldn't mind introducing yourself,
Hi
please.
there. My official title is Imam Rizwan Rawat. Imam is like how you got padre or priest or reverend. So I'm a qualified Imam, but most people just call me Riz, R-I-Z. Currently work as a lead chaplain in Northwest London in the NHS. Previously worked in hospices, hospitals, local community, and the prison service. And welcome. Thank you for calling me today.
Oh, no, it's our pleasure. Thank you very much. How does your faith influence the way you think about death?
So, Muslims, first and foremost, we believe when someone is born, they're, they're born with Iman, which is faith, no matter who it is. And as someone grows up, they learn that God is the creator of the whole universe and we follow the teachings of the prophets. There's loads of similarities between Islam and Christianity slash Judaism because they're all Abrahamic faiths. So the concept of heaven and hell, life, death, angels, etc., are more or less identical
Okay.
in both faiths. So a lot of people think there's massive changes or massive differences, big differences between Islam and the other faiths, but that's not necessarily true. The majority faiths in this country, Christianity and Islam, share the same morals and the same tenets and beliefs. Of course, there's a lot of emphasis on life, but there's also a lot of emphasis on death because that's our gateway into the afterlife, which is similar to Christianity, purgatory, etc. So we may have these conversations depending on how close we are with someone. Uh, so culturally and from a religious point of view, but we're reminded of it through our teachings in the Quran and through the practices of the Prophet, peace be upon him.
Any particular rituals, stories, beliefs that happen around the dying person or while they're dying or when they've actually died?
Of course, it's very, very important for us. So you'll get two situations when it comes to someone dying. A lot of the time, it'll either be sudden, and then in a more controlled environment, in a hospital, in a hospice, in a care home, in someone's own home, you, you can plan for someone's death. So that's the two ways I'll categorize it. When it's very sudden, we will, if there is another Muslim present, we will try to say the words which are the declaration of faith for Muslims. It's referred to as the Shahada. So Shahada means to glorify, to testify. So we'll encourage the person or we'll say the words which are La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, which translates to there's no God but Allah, Muhammad is his messenger. Very simple translation. And as Muslims, we believe that if these are the last words that we utter, then we will enter straight into heaven. So there's a lot of emphasis on saying these words in a calm manner, not to force someone. Say these words, especially on scenario number one, where someone suddenly died. Going on to the second scenario, um, depending on who the person is, how strong their faith is, this needs to be taken into consideration. But the example I like to talk about is if there's a practicing Muslim, I think that's easier. Um, as long as they can pray, they will try to offer their prayer. If the person is in a position where they are unable to talk, they're in a comatose state, then for the family or any loved ones to be around and just say the words softly in their ear. And if there's a collective, then collectively together just say the words for a couple of minutes. If the patient can be facing towards the southeast, so Muslims pray towards the southeast, which is around 118 or 120 degrees on a compass, which is we refer to as the Qibla. Qibla is the direction of prayer. So if I was offering my afternoon prayer right now, I can't just pray in any direction. We work out which way is southeast. A little tip for anyone watching: Sky dishes. Yes, we're not giving Sky, credit or anything, but for some reason, Sky dishes, the satellite dish, they face southeast. So if you're ever out and about and you want to pray, try to find a Sky dish. Hey, that's the way, and you offer your prayer that way. Once someone passes away, there's an emphasis on we try our most best to bury the person as soon as possible.
Why is that, Riz?
1400 years ago in the middle of a desert, if someone dies at 12 o'clock, shall we wait 2 days? Not a good idea. So the emphasis comes from that. Now, Muslims, we try our utmost best in a lot of things to stick with what was practiced then. Then the family will, with the mosque, wash the person. We also encourage to wash with warm water. A lot of people don't realize, wait a minute, it's someone that's died. But we believe, and that's another reason why we encourage quick burial, is the soul has not departed the body until we have fulfilled their rights. So that's why families may be really, really grieved if they're told, oh, it's tomorrow, because then they are not fulfilling their rights for their mother or their father or their brother or their sister. So this washing will take place either in the funeral directors or in the mosque. A lot of mosques have this facility as well. Thereafter, there'll be Muslims will not be buried in coffins unless the cemetery is located next to water, because sometimes water can come under. So Muslims will traditionally be wrapped in cloth. Men or boys will be in 3 pieces of cloth, and women will have an extra 2 pieces, one for the upper chest area and one for the hair as well. So there'll be 5 pieces of cloth. Once the washing and the shrouding is done, there may be a time, depending on the time of the day, for people to come and view the deceased. So there may be family members, loved ones, and that's up to the family how they want to do it. Some families are very private. We don't want anyone besides the sons and the siblings of the patient, of the deceased, I should say. Thereafter, there will be so once the washing and the shrouding is done, then we do the janaza prayer, which is referred to as the funeral prayer, which can take place at the mosque, or sometimes due to time, it can even take place at the cemetery. Once that prayer is offered, so we've done a washing, shrouding, prayer. After the prayer, the deceased will be taken to the cemetery, and other loved ones or close family members will attend. And in Islam, anyone viewing this video, I'm sure they'll be aware, but it's no harm in just reminding people will not accept cremation. The option will always be for burial. It's happened in the past where a Muslim family was offered, "Oh, do you want your dad to be do you want your dad to be cremated, or your mother to be cremated?" And the family found it quite offensive. So sometimes it's good for staff or volunteers, whoever it may be, to be aware of this as well. In Islam, calling an imam to do the prayers is considered, yes, it's a good thing, because an imam is a religious, holy man. I don't look at myself like that, but it's meant to be like that. But the imam who studied for 6, 7, 8 years, likewise a female mu'allima, which is a female equivalent to an imam, if someone was suddenly dying or someone was poorly and a family couldn't find an imam, the family can also recite the prayers and it will be counted. It's as long as anyone says those words, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, no God but Allah, Muhammad is his messenger.